Good morning. I'm here at Beech Gap parking area. Pass along the road here. I'm getting ready to start day 7. I'm going to go to Standing Indian Shelter, which is 16.7 miles from here. See how I feel, and I may try to go a little push farther than that. It depends on how I feel. I had a really good night's sleep at the top of Georgia Hostel. Had cereal for breakfast, which they gave out for free there. Had a shower. I was able to wash my clothes while I was there, and it was a good experience overall for me. A lot of people were there. It was packed. I'm glad we made a reservation, because I would have never got in there, and I would have been out here in the rain last night, which it did rain, and it did freeze in the higher elevations. So it was a good choice to get off trail, and I'm going to have to get some thermal underwear, I think, somewhere along the line, or have someone send me some, because this next couple of nights and miles all the way up through the Smokies are going to be at higher elevations, and it's just going to stay as cold as it is now. So I'm going to have to do something different with my sleeping bag liner as well. So, but no big deal. Those are all things that can be worked out. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. Through the trees, the clouds laying in between the mountains. So pretty. And I've been on trail for about 45 minutes. And the fog and everything's starting to burn off. But wow, is that pretty. That is so cool. Just kind of laying there. So I thought I'd give you guys a look at that. Here's the trail this morning. It's a little wet. It rained last night. I haven't run into any rain frost. Of course, I'm not at the high elevations right now. I'm at about 2,200 feet, I think. I'll get above 3,000 sometime today. And then I'm going to probably stay there all day and right up until I camp. And then we'll stay there probably the whole next day. And then I'll drop down into Franklin the day after that. And we'll see what happens from there. I think I'm going to go into Franklin and maybe send some stuff home. Some stuff that I'm carrying that I don't need, and maybe make some gear changes. The guy at the top of Georgia Hostel really said some things that really helped me make some decisions on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to talk to you guys later down the trail. Here's some more look at the trail. I just passed through Beech Gap, and I don't know, I did about 2-3 miles, a little over 3 miles in this morning. It's 9:30. Started at 8, so it's nice and foggy and wet, and trail is very slippery. I can tell you that flat, wet rocks and roots are the devil on the trail. Those things are like ice, man. You gotta. I've been falling, busting my. I've been falling, and I need to be more careful so I don't hurt myself. But those roots, see that little root right there? You hit that, man, do you go just slide right down. That little sucker right there, that catches you. These things are horrible. So that rock right there, man, that'll get you. You got to watch where you're stepping, and it's hard to do that because I'm like looking around. Oh, let me look at that, all that fog and down in the valley and everything. That's so cool. And you're trying to take it all in, and one misstep, look at all that, and down you go. So I just got to take it easy and slow down a little bit while it's wet like this until it all burns off and heats up a little bit. So catch you later. Crossing through Plum Orchard Gap now. Not much here. Plum Orchard Shelter's around here somewhere. I haven't seen it yet. So just went over the top of Asnob Mountain. Took a picture of it. I forgot to look at the elevation, what it was. But it's just a little bit after 10. It's still very, very cloudy or foggy, as you can see behind me. And it's just a good day so far, except for these slippery roots and rocks. That's about it. It's just not giving up the views today at all. So we'll see what this afternoon brings. Passing through Blue Ridge Gap right now. So I have a milestone on the trail. First time it's been all privies up until this point.
I just say it,
Entering the Nantahala Wilderness and the Chattahoochee National Forest. So here's some of the trail. It's real foggy and misty. I feel like I'm in a Stephen King movie. All the little sounds and stuff, you can't really see what's going on. It tends to be creepy at times. So, get you down the trail. Crossing into from Georgia to North Carolina now. So I was told about this tree hundreds of years ago. The Indians used to tie saplings down with a strap of leather pointing in a direction they needed to go, and then the sapling would grow back up, and then the tree would make this shape just like this, and this tree has continued to grow. That's the whole story behind that tree. I thought it was very interesting, and I thought I'd share it. See you down the trail. I'm getting pretty high up here in elevation, and this will give you an indication of what it was like last night up here. I'm glad I stayed at the hostel because it's just ice. Oh, sorry, it's just ice everywhere up here. I just went over Sharp Top Mountain, and it was a brutal climb to the top. It wasn't very long, but it was straight up. It was rough. So now the trail, hopefully the trail flattened out a little bit. I think it's going to take a turn down here. So I'm going to stop at this next scenic view and have some lunch, I think, there. And I don't think there's going to be any kind of scenery to see, but because it's still foggy and it's 12 o'clock right now and it's still cool. So, all right, talk at you later. So this is supposed to be a scenic overview, and as you can see, it's just not giving us any kind of view today. It's just all the clouds and very cool and moist up here. It's a good hiking day, that's for sure. So, talk to you later. Passing through Sassafras Gap now. You can still see it's all fogged over. Still nothing worth looking at other than the big old trees that are all growing around me. So I had to stop and water up. Here's my water supply coming off that leaf. I had to fill my container over here. And I got a little gravity system going on. That's how I make my water. filter it through the Sawyer filter. It's a slow process. I could squeeze the bag and make it faster, but I don't want to tear up the bag and then have to buy a new one. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's about 1:21 right now. So this was apparently the water source that I was supposed to get water at, but that's okay. I got my water. This is a little bridge I'm trying to cross. So I like the way they make their bridges. Big old logs. All right, catch you later. All right, so I'm walking along and come across all this. This is part of what the hurricane did last year to the trail. There's all these blowdowns, and they cut their way, just basically took a chainsaw, cut their way right through it, made the path open again. There's a whole bunch of it. It goes all the way back there. I was just catching the tail end of it. So, but this was all that hurricane damage. All right. So. How you doing?
You made it.
Yeah. That's muskrat shelter up there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm heading on.
All right, buddy. Hey. Good walking with you for
All
a little
right.
bit today.
All right.
Thanks for the
Yes,
picture
sir.
and everything.
All right. We'll see you.
Take care, bud.
Passing through Beech Gap right now. Almost to the, I think where we're going to stay. We're going to see. I'm going to take off my raincoat. The sun came out a little bit. Burned off everything. So I'll catch you later. Going over the top of Standing Indian Mountain right now. Okay, so it's time for the closeout of day 7. And we started off at Dix Creek Gap right here. Came in, the shuttle brought us in and dropped us off at the parking lot right here. And we made our ascent up these big hills here. It was really foggy and rainy and cold as we made our ascent. It actually was very foggy and rainy all day long. And then we come down. We had no views throughout the day until late in the evening. We passed Plum Orchard Gap here. Went through that. We went through all these gaps too. Go back here and look at these gaps. This is Cowart Gap, Blaze Knob, Bull Gap, Plum Orchard Shelter. We went through there. Blue Ridge Gap, where there was a dirt road going up to there, and there wasn't any cars there. And then we kept going on, and then we hit the. I took a picture of us at the. Of myself at the North Carolina and Georgia border, and that was the 76-mile mark. And we kept our ascent going up these hills. Okay, so we kept on. We went through Sassafras Gap and Muskrat Shelter. I took a picture of Muskrat Shelter there, and we went through Water Rock Gap. And we were going to stay at Standing Indian Hostel. We got there and there was a bunch of people there. So we just kept going, and we made this huge ascent up this big mountain. And it was big, and it was cold. It was first time I've been above 5,000 feet. It was at 5,435. So we went above that. There was no real good picture from up there. It was all fogged in. I didn't even bother because it's just all fog. So, but we pretty much stayed most of the day from Tray Mountain all the way to where we're currently at. Right here, we're above 4,400 feet. We pretty much stayed above 4,000 feet all day long. From Tray Mountain. We dipped below 4,400 or 4,000 feet for a short while at Wolf Gap here, at Wolf Gap, and focus at Wolf Gap. We came down to 3,400 feet, and then we ascended back up another 1,000 feet to where we're currently at, which is right here. This is a good water source and a good campsite, nice and level. I'm concerned about the temperature tonight. I'm hoping it doesn't get below freezing or below 30. I only have a 30-degree bag. We are in higher elevations, and it is a concern. So, but tomorrow, I think what we're going to do is we're going to get up and get out of here by 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we're going to make this trip all the way. And right here is the fire tower I was pointing out earlier. And that's at the 99.5 mile marker. We're going to make that ascent. And we're going to go into... keep coming down here to Beech Gap Shelter. And this is not the correct page. We're going to make our ascent down this hill here, all the way to right here, Winding Stair Gap, and then we're going to go into Franklin and resupply and stay at a hostel, and then make our next day. We're going to come out and make this ascent. That'll be, but that's what we're going to do. So hopefully the weather is going to cooperate with us tomorrow, and I'll be able to take more pictures and give you guys some good scenes and shots. So talk to you later.